Oh, he's coming back. I'll bring it right to you.
That's a dirty one.
You weren't
Good
kidding.
morning, YouTube. So today I want to ask you a question. You having problems finding redfish in a new place? What I want to do is I want to give you 3 tips that I have found useful within the last 10 years, and then even this last year, what I've noticed when people from up north come down, or even some of my new buddies getting into fishing, want to find new redfish and they're struggling. So these 3 things are Carolina rigs versus artificial baits, multiple baits to use, don't just use one, and then how to best position yourself. And this is inshore fishing for redfish, and generally this is based out of South Carolina. So if you guys are doing it different, don't hate on me. This is what I have found is the best for this particular area. So first, let's talk about Carolina rigs. So if you're new to doing this type of fishing, you don't want to just go for the artificial first. Let's say you're throwing the cast net and you're finding cigar minnows and shrimp. That is what all those fish in that local area are actually targeting for now, and this is in their natural area of what they're looking for. So an artificial bait can be a different color, a different shad, but that's not what they're used to seeing all the time, and that's not what they're feeding on. The artificial bait will work, but what I would suggest is on the bottom, put your Carolina rig down. Say you catch live shrimp that morning in the cast net. Set that there in one area, generally underneath a dock or underneath a bin where the current's coming out, and let that sit while you use your artificial bait to kind of fan one particular area. So you'll start to the left, and you'll hit that area, and then you go over about another 10 foot, hit that area. All at the same time, you have your Carolina rig down on the bottom. That's the more natural bait for the redfish to find, and you have 2 baits out, and you're finding out what works the best for them. So that's one of the biggest ones. Don't just use one bait.
Oh, very nice. All right, I'm doing that.
Things, which I would suggest a Carolina rig or some kind of
got one in the boat
that you like to use, and I think you'll see your numbers start to go up a little bit higher. Number 2. So like I was saying, multiple baits. So a lot of times if you're going to do the artificial method, that's great. But if you're going to run a couple different Carolina rigs at the back or the front of your boat, what I would suggest is use the Carolina rig. Here's how you tie it right here. But whatever you caught that morning in your cast net, or if you stopped at the local tackle shop to pick up something, put a different bait on each Carolina rig. So if there's 1 or 2 of you in the boat, let's just say there's 2, put one person out with a piece of cut bait on the bottom that you had found that morning, and then maybe use on the other one some shrimp. Put those out first, and whatever you see that they're hitting first, that's what I would gradually move over to until you find a redfish and start using that bait, because that's obviously telling you a good signal. That's what they're eating that morning. 3, I don't know where you're targeting your fish, but what I would highly suggest is this is what you want to look for when catching redfish, especially here in Charles, South Carolina. Shallow water. So I have predominantly caught most of our redfish in 2 foot of water, but I know not everybody has a boat where they can get into 2 foot of water. So what I would suggest is sit back and cast into those areas that you see oyster beds. If you're doing that, I would use a popping cork on the top with some kind of bait, and then anything that you can just cast into that is 2 foot deep. Also, a big thing that you want to look for is inshore docks of where there's some kind of nice current going through, because redfish are ambush predators, and once they see that your bait slide through, they're going to attack it, and you're going to see more fish, because that's where they're generally sitting. And then the third one that not everybody really talks about all the time is what I like to call a bend. So look at this picture here. You've got this bend where current is coming out at a low tide, and during that bend, all that's happening is your bait fish is getting pushed up either under debris or underneath that bend on the bank. And so all the redfish are doing are going back and forth trying to find that bait. So if you can find a spot that has a bend like this, cast into that area, and I guarantee you will start to see your redfish numbers go up. So that's all I got for you today. I hope this video helps. If it does, leave me a comment below. Tell me if this has helped you catch more redfish, or if you have any other tips that you have seen out there. Hit that subscribe button so I can see you on the next video. Hit like if you like it, and most importantly, tell somebody. See you on the next one.